السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له، وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. أما بعد، فإن أصدق الحديث كتاب الله، وخير الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم، وشر الأمور محدثاتها، وكل محدثة بدعة، وكل بدعة ضلالة، وكل ضلالة في النار. أما بعد. Then to proceed today, we have two more hadith in this final chapter, in this chapter of Al-Hadana, the chapter of custody of children. And actually the last two hadith, they refer to the issue of looking after the servants, meaning the slaves of a person, and the looking after of animals, meaning that this hadana, or this custody and concern, it is something that extends to all of those who are under one's care. But before we move on to that, just to summarize that which we've done in terms of custody of children, then we mentioned in summary that the women, after the separation between a man and a woman in terms of divorce, that the women, or the wife or the ex-wife, she has the greater right to the baby than the husband. So the women have a greater right to the young children over and above the men. And that is the origin with regard to the affair, due to the first hadith of the chapter. The woman said that my husband, that the woman said, Ya Rasulullah, that this is my son, and he was my womb was a container for him, and my breasts were a source of quenching his thirst, and my lap was a place for him to curl up. And the father of that baby, or my baby, has divorced me, and he wishes to take the child away from me. So the Prophet ﷺ said to her that he have more right, that you, meaning the woman, you have more right to that baby, so long as you do not remarry. So that's the origin, that so long as she does not remarry, and the baby is young, or the child is young, then she has the greater right. Naam. Because of the age of the child. And then we mentioned what Sheikh al-Fawzan mentioned, and thereafter it is the grandmother or the auntie, meaning the khala on the mother's side, the sister of the mother, and so on. And we mentioned the various levels of custody after that for a young child. Then we mentioned that the custody, and we'll repeat it here, or add one or 2 points, and that is that the custody has certain shuruts, or certain shurut, or certain conditions. And that is that the one who is the custodian over the child must be an adult, and must be free, meaning not a slave, must be trustworthy, and must be a Muslim if the custody is being taken over a Muslim child. And there must be an ability of the custodian or the guardian, there must be an ability that they have to fulfill the obligations of that child. So these are the conditions. And also, of course, that she is not married, meaning that up until she marries. So therefore, if she holds on to the child, she holds on to the child based upon those conditions. Now, so if any of those conditions fall to one side, meaning if she, for example, becomes insane, meaning mentally she's not able to look after the child, or any of the other conditions that we've mentioned, then the custody does not remain with that person because they are not able and they don't have the ability. However, if for a period of time that those conditions are not met, but then they return back, meaning that the insanity was temporary, so she now becomes sane, then the child is returned back to her. Or if she remarries and then the marriage breaks down and she's no longer married, then the child comes back to her. Na'am. But the point here being is that when you look at all of these conditions, they all revolve around giving importance to the benefit and to the well-being of the child. And that is what is given precedence, the well-being of the child.